Let's move on. This is a little neat thing I thought. I got a little bit emotional when I read this. So, uh, Zack Snyder, we all know that Christopher Nolan produced Man of Steel, right? He wasn't done after the Dark Knight trilogy. He helped set up this DC universe to what it's going to be because WB just looks up to him. They love what he did with Batman. So when the decision was made that Zack Snyder wanted to, do a new Batman and include him into what's now Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, he sought out Christopher Nolan and asked for his sort of blessing, and Snyder revealed in an interview it went something like this: "If you don't want me to do this, just let me know." And Christopher Nolan, after a moment of pause, he said, "Well, we don't own these characters. When you're done making Batman movies, someone else will make them." And then Snyder said how it seemed like Nolan took it a bit hard because, I mean, it's been 5 years since The Dark Knight Rises, and maybe that's a little too soon in his eyes, maybe some of his fans' eyes. And look, all right, we know that Christopher Nolan is not the guy who says you make a Batman film or you don't. Warner Brothers would make a Batman film. What do you guys think about this? Just the whole Zack Snyder reaching out to Christopher Nolan. Like, what do you take from it? So I'm gonna start with Jake.
I mean, it's nice. It's nice that he went up to him because Christopher Nolan was the last guy that told the story of the character, and obviously the character meant a lot to him. But at the same time, it's like even if Nolan would have said, "No, I'd rather you not tell that kind of story," Zack Snyder would have walked away and still told the story. I mean, he's gonna do what he wants to do because he wants to tell a story he wants to tell, and yeah, that would have caused some riff, obviously, but I think it was just a little bit more respect because what Nolan did, he kind of brought back Batman. He's the reason for it, because after Batman and Robin, the character was in a whole crap hole. So yeah, it does make sense, and it's respectful of Zack Snyder, but at the same time, it's like even if he would have said no, it wouldn't have stopped it from happening. So,
Jacob.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why this is like. I understand why people are running it as a news story, but it's like I saw that on, I think it was Screen Rant, But I mean, no disrespect to them. Everyone's running it as a story, but I'm like, does this really deserve a whole story about it? It's literally like 2 comments, and but I just look as it's just out of respect is why he's asking him. I compare it to like somebody asking their fiance's father if it's cool to marry them. Most of the time, if the dad says no, the guy's still going to marry the daughter. So it's similar to that. Like, it was just out of respect because it was so recent. It was such a big thing with Christopher Nolan in the Dark Knight trilogy, and to me it seems like Nolan's a little bit bitter about it. But he knows he has no right to say no. So of course he's going to be like, "Look, we don't own these characters, go ahead." So like he wasn't like, "Yes, go. I totally want you to make a Batman movie." So I don't think this should be like a headline on a movie site, but it's a little cool thing to know. Yeah.
See, I think, okay, all right. So we obviously, if Nolan were to say no, Warner Brothers would still go ahead and make a Batman movie because he doesn't own the character. But I think this is kind of a big deal because a lot of people are still attached to Christopher Nolan and Christian Bale as Batman and the director. What he did for that trilogy, for the character, just it was almost a phenomenon. The Dark Knight,
the
especially.
superhero genre wouldn't be what it is today
Right.
without it.
And I mean, Zack Snyder owes a lot to Christopher Nolan, because he came in and he helped out with that Man of Steel thing. How much? I don't know. I don't have the inside scoop on that, but I know that. Well, you have something to say, Jake?
no, go ahead and finish. I'll go after you. Yeah.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, like, the DC universe that we're getting today wouldn't be possible without Nolan and his vision and his tone and the groundwork that he laid out. Showing that it is possible to do a grounded, dark, comic book universe, and for it to be successful as it is. And I think it's great for the fans. A lot of people out there, still aren't, used to the idea of Ben Affleck taking over as Batman so soon, and for Christopher Nolan to sort of endorse Zack Snyder, that could do a lot. Like obviously people are going to go see Batman v Superman, but again, it's for the fans. So I think this is excellent. I really love it. I love seeing stuff like this because it's bigger than the character. This is respect between two filmmakers, one who looks up to the other one and for what he did, and respecting the past work.
I see what you're saying. The fact that audiences are attached to the whole Batman movie, the Dark Knight trilogy, all that kind of stuff. But at the same time, we kind of got to step back and think that the normal movie-going audience don't realize that, or don't know who the director of those movies are. Like it says Christopher Nolan on the screen and everything, but they don't know. They just think of the Batman movies. They think of it's more of Christian Bale's Batman more than Christopher Nolan's Batman movies. So. But while I agree, it's also like they don't really know.
It's almost irrelevant in a
Yeah,
way.
it's like it doesn't really like.
You're absolutely. I didn't even think about that. Casual movie fans don't even know who's directing Batman.
Yeah,
or
so
Superman.
it's just a Batman movie to them.
They don't go up to somebody in the street and say who directed The Dark Knight.
I think they would say Christopher Nolan.
I don't think so.
I think it's like five.
Ask 10 people, how many do you think of them are going to know? I'd say 4.
You guys are forgetting that Christopher Nolan's one of the few directors
he is,
whose name alone can carry a movie.
So
I think that's just in Hollywood or like what we do, like normal movie going. If I was to ask my mom or even my dad, I bet you they wouldn't know. Neither of them would know. Yeah. I think it's the people that
mom
really
loves movies. She watches a lot of movies.
It's the people,
she would not know.
It's the people that pay attention, and it's nothing against like what you're saying. It's just like I think
totally. Yeah.
I think that
it's still meaningful.
Yeah, I
really
think it's just to normal movie going audiences. It's not really. It's kind of irrelevant. It's just it doesn't.
Well, maybe it's just me because The Dark Knight's in my top 5 movies of all time.